Good afternoon. This is the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners for January 23rd, 2018. I'm Commissioner Bud Blake, Chair of the Board this year, and I'd like to start off by doing introductions. To my left, I have Commissioner Gary Edwards. To my right, I have Labadina Bomar, Clerk of the Board. To her right is the County Manager, Romero Chavez. To his right is the Assistant County Manager, Robin Campbell. And to her right is Elizabeth Petrus, Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. And Commissioner Hutchins is out on an excused absence. With that in mind, I'll ask Commissioner Edwards to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you'll please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, with that in mind, we will go to the item of approving today's agenda. Is there a motion?
I would so move.
Okay, second, it's been moved and approved as today's Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018 agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Is there a motion for the board meeting minutes for January 9th, 2018 and January 3rd, 2018?
I would move to approve the board minutes from January 19th and January 3rd, 2018.
Second, it's been moved and seconded to approve the board meeting minutes for January 9th, 2018 and January 3rd, 2018. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. We're going to move right into the portion where we have the opportunity for the public to address the board. And so kind of to follow the rules we did last year in 2017, I'll just kind of rehash them here for 2018, is that there's the clock up there on the far right, your far right, my left, and it'll count down from 3 minutes to 0 minutes. And when I get to 0 minutes, it'll have this kind of buzzer sound, giving you the indication that your time is up. However, if you're midstream and for your thought or your process or getting the last word out, I'll let you finish that up because that's all the polite thing to do. However, I'll ask you to kind of finish it up and wrap it up as we go along. And so when you come up to the podium, I ask you to state where you're from in the county in general, not specifically, and then state your name for the record. And we'll see what carried through. So it's a first come, first serve. So I'm going to call off those who are first on the list, and then we'll go down that. So first I have in mind Mr. John Pettit. Hello, sir. How you doing there?
Good. Good afternoon, commissioners and associated people here. I haven't been here for a while, and I kind of have stayed away for a certain amount of, because I felt like as though I was going through a general dog and pony show just for the point of having the public get a chance to think they're involved. And after a number of times of making comments which would be beneficial, what appeared to actually happen was if I said to go up, everyone would immediately go down. So I decided maybe I just better not say anything because maybe you'll accidentally go in the right way. There are some things I would admit that I've been a little disappointed. I was sure we were going to be getting a bag ban removed and a number of other issues that were out there that haven't really gotten resolved, and we're more than a year down the line since the last change in the commission. I'm concerned that the county is taking some of the path it has in the past, that it's already moving forward towards building additional jail facilities, once again, just like previous commissions of without getting a vote of the people involved with making that decision to spend $13 million. Apparently the commission thinks that they're smarter than the people are, or that the people aren't entitled to make decisions. They will be entitled to make decisions when election time comes up again. But what I am here about primarily today is just I was going through and saw a little something about a fish passage enhancement program. Now you are familiar, I happen to live on the Deschutes River. I was part of the Deschutes Watershed Group, and one of the things I thought was interesting is how we're working hard to help the salmon. And according to this, with 10 different sites at about $4 million worth of expense, that's about $400,000 per culvert location. One small factor. Salmon are not a native species of the Deschutes River. Never has been, not going to be. They'll let them go up the fish ladder up to the hatchery location. They skin them out and take the eggs and go hatch them somewhere else. But I'm trying to think of what would cause a person to decide they want to spend nearly $1.5 million to replace culverts to help the salmon where the salmon don't exist? I mean, this is on you guys. You're the ones who are supposed to be monitoring. I presume some staff might have told you something, and I happen to know at least one of you have lived here a lifetime. You should know there's no natural salmon running up the Deschutes, approximately 1950. But I got this information from the stream team in regards to the salmon run. I'm actually going to leave it here with you, and hopefully you'll review and get things corrected on a better path. Thank you.
Your word, sir. Can you give it to Romero? Sure.
Thank you.
All righty. So the next person I have on the list is Mr. Terry Ballard.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I gave you a copy of the RCWs. Therefore, I'm tired of the misleading statements, just like the septic tank. I'm tired of the misleading statements of the bagman. I'm tired of all misleading statements, okay? And what I put in front of you is something that we had called in the Uniform Code of Military Justice as far as making false official statements in order to deceive and failure to obey lawful order regulation. In front of you is RCW 42-20-040. It's making false or misleading statements in any official report or statement. That's a gross misdemeanor. Moving on, RCW 42-20-50. Make or give a certificate or other writing shall be knowingly make and deliver as true such a certificate containing any statement which is false. That's a gross misdemeanor. And then your RCW is 42-20-100. Whenever any duty is enjoyed by law upon any official, any public officer, or other persons holding any public trust or employment, they will willfully neglect to perform their such duty is a misdemeanor, not a gross misdemeanor, just a misdemeanor. Okay? Whether or not you know the law or not, that's not the case. Whether unknowing is not the case. You have a lawyer right there to tell you what, to go through the contracts, to go through everything that comes out of this that you are unsure of. Okay? Also, there's a color of law, which RCW 9A-20-80-10, and it says benefit or deprive another person's lawful right or privilege. That's more or less in the property, and I included that too. But then there's also this funny thing that people like to play favorites. Well, then we have the 14th Amendment, which is the Equal Protection Clause. Okay, I have just as much right as equal protection as anybody else to include illegal aliens. One of these members here voted the county to be a sanctuary county. I'm sorry, if they get more rights than I do under equal protection, that's wrong. Okay, that's wrong. If they get any more rights than I should already have. But other than that, I have 23 seconds left, and thank you very much for having this opportunity.
There's also, thank you very much. So the next person I have is it Garrett Waugh? Did I say that correctly, sir? Yeah, sure. Come on up to the podium.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I apologise. I may have sort of made a procedural mistake. I'm here to talk about the road vacation at Delphi for Port Blakely for the US Fish and Wildlife transaction. I'm just interested in whether the Commissioners would entertain waiving the compensation due to the county, given the cost of appraisal is likely to exceed the cost of compensation to the county. So, all right, small comment. So, thank you. Appreciate your service to the county. Thank you.
Okay, so that completes the list. And so if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to come to the podium, just kind of raise your hand and I'll bring you forward and we can accommodate anybody who has a last minute change of heart or what have you. Seeing nobody, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the consent item. Oh, no, correction, the county manager's update. So we'll listen to the county manager for a second.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. I have three items for you. The first one is a follow-up to testimony you received on January 9th from Mr. Calvin Lampers. He highlighted two particular issues related to his septic system. One was the inability to submit the certification of the inspection via the normal paper copy, since he doesn't have a computer. And the other item that he highlighted is he was requested by the county to pump his septic system, and also he was concerned about that requirement. So just to give a feedback, staff contacted Mr. Lampert, and he was given the option to come to the office, and staff will assist him in a computer online form. Also, staff gave him an option to provide that information via phone, which at that point he chose to provide that information via telephone. And that option will continue to be standard practice when somebody doesn't have access to a computer. Related to the requirement of pumping his septic system, Mr. Lampert self-reported a scum layer of about 10 inches and a sludge of about 10 inches, so a combined total of 20 inches. The Health Department policy, ONST 12 policy 837, which has not changed in the last few years, requires pumping when a combined sludge and a scum layer are greater than 1/3 of the working depth of the septic system. Mr. Lampers has a standard size of 1,200 gallon tank, and the working depth is 48 inches. So the pumping requirement in this case will be the combination of scum and sludge is 16 inches. He self-reported 20 inches. That is the requirement in which we submitted for him to pump the septic system. Concerning the testimony that he provided to you, staff extended the requirement to pump his septic system to until March 25th, 2018. And also, we're going to be holding his certificate, operational certificate, since it has expired January 25th, 2018 until March 25th. Mr. Lampert, in conversation with the staff, stated that he will re-inspect his system since a friend helped him on the initial inspection, and he has not clear indication whether the inspection was accurate or not to begin with. So as of today, we have not received any follow-up inspections to the report, and the staff will continue to work with Mr. Lampers in order to find a solution to the issues that he highlighted to you on January 9th. The second item that I'd like to highlight to you is the response from Thurston County related to the December 18, 2018, related to the derailment of the Amtrak train. So Thurston County acted in full support to the Pierce County Emergency Management Command. And in terms of, we responded with over 50 Thurston County EMS emergency unit services arriving to the scene, including 6 out of the 7 medic units in the county. Over 100 Thurston County fire EMS personnel was on the scene. We activated the Thurston County Emergency Coordination Center, and again in coordination with the Pierce County EOC, activating and staffing the 4 available Thurston County Reserve units just to cover the gaps that it was left for the individuals who responded to the scene. We activated the Disaster Medical Control Center, the Providence St. Peter's Hospital. Thurston County EMS transported patients to Allemore, the Good Samaritan, St. Joseph, and Tacoma General Hospitals in Pierce County, also to Capital Medical Center and Providence St. Peter's Hospital in Thurston County. Approximately 90 patients were part of the accident as victims. Overall, were transported to the combination of Thurston and Pierce County hospitals. From the Public Works point of view, Public Works staff met internally as soon as they realized the emergency was in place, and they started accommodating the detour routes on the Nisqually area. Staff coordinated with Lacey and the Washington State Department of Transportation, and also provided support and provided the right traffic controls on all the detour areas. And staff visited the detour areas just to make sure everything was working correct throughout the whole emergency. Some of the lessons learned, Thurston County has already established those detour routes in case of such emergencies, which in a way that worked out very well because we knew where the traffic needed to be diverted. One of the lessons learned is we realized that those routes may not necessarily are capable to carry the amount of traffic the I-5 carries. So as a result, we're going to be looking as to what we need to do in the future on those particular roadways. That is the report on the emergency. Also, I'd like to highlight to the public, the county is going through the process of updating the county's strategic plan, which includes a citizen survey. We want to thank close to 2,260 citizens who completed the online survey, along with 500 citizens who completed the telephone survey conducted by our consultant. Their input is very important as we will be using all of the feedback to help in developing our strategic plan and prioritize our work in the upcoming years. In addition to the online and telephone surveys, we're offering 3 more opportunities to provide the public the opportunity to provide some feedback. We will be hosting 3 open house to citizens to come and learn about the county, what the county does, and what the future plans for the county has for the region. So those 3 dates are Wednesday, January 31st. That will be from 6 in the afternoon to 8 p.m. The first one will be held in right near Sportsman's Club, located in Alaska Street, right near Washington, 98576. The next is Monday, February the 5th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Thurston County Public Health and Social Services Building, located at the 412 Lily Road Northeast, Olympia, Washington, 98506. And the third is scheduled for Wednesday, February the 7th, from 6 to 8 in the Rochester Middle School Commons, located at the 9937 US 12, Rochester, Washington, 98579. During these open public meetings, there will not be a formal presentation. We will keep the locations open for the full 2 hours, and we ask the citizens to come and share their perspectives as we move forward on preparing the county's strategic plan. That's all I have for you.
Great. Any questions for the county manager? All right. I'd just like to make the comment for the first responders, not only for the train derailment here that recently happened, but hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, they are always there for us night and day, and we sleep, eat, drink, and live better and play better here in Thurston County and the general region because of them. So our hat goes off to them. Okay, so the next item we have on the agenda is the item for consent items A through H. And is there a motion to approve the consent items?
I would move to approve consent items A through H.
Second, it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent items A through H. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries as well. So the first department item we have is the Department of Emergency Services. And today we have Mr. Kurt Harden, he's the Director of Emergency Services, and he's going to talk about alert and notification system. Before you start, there's one item I got to announce and say that a couple times throughout the show, is that we will not be having the 30 January BOCC meeting. It's been canceled, and we'll pick up the following Tuesday after that. So just to let everybody know. Go ahead. Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm here to request that the Board approve a resolution to purchase the Rave Alert System through Lime Computers at a total cost of $35,053.10, and that'll be the first year of the cost. Currently, AlertSense is what we currently use, and the Rave system that we're switching to for a number of reasons. One is The AlertSense has outdated technology, a complicated interface, and has limited delivery abilities, and it's inconsistent and inaccurate on their reporting. The process we took was to assemble stakeholders within the county, their alert notification policy group. We developed a needs document, and then based on that and input garnered from other emergency management agencies, there were 4 systems that presented their products. The Rave Alert was chosen based on its ease of use, features, and price. Why Rave was because its uses had the widest range of technology to extend reach of notification. It's got a simple interface, even I can use it. The system can post directly to web pages. Its keyword opt-in allows citizens to receive information without entering personal data. Rave's interface is a web-based and accessible from any internet-capable device. It also has a 24/7 customer service for citizens. And then the Smart 911 feature could help identify vulnerable populations for emergency management outreach. Also, the database, it has a redundant data entry. It also has citizens can update their own data. And then for redundancy, the company can send messages to groups or citizens in the county in the event that our systems are down. And then switching from the current system to the new system, Rave, would be seamless for citizens in the county. So what we have is greater capability, and here's even a better answer to it is AlertSense, Rave is less costly than AlertSense. We're going to save about $9,859 for the county in the first year, and then an additional $7,233 in subsequent years to the county. So we have greater capability, better ease of use, and then less cost.
I have no questions.
No questions about it? Can you tell a little bit about how the people get involved with this, both from, say, individual level or collective level? Is there a program to be able to do that and so that people are notified?
Sure, we'll do an outreach and we'll notify citizens about their ability to opt into the Rave system. Also, citizens who have already put into the AlertSense system, we can take their data and automatically move it over so that it's seamless to them. So first of all, anyone who's already in the system are going to remain in the system. Then we'll do an outreach campaign on our website, social media, et cetera, that have our citizens encourage them to opt into the new Rave system.
Yeah. And so we would use this system just, for example, natural disasters. Kind of give a couple of examples and when we would not use this.
Sure. We can use the system for disaster notification, weather notification if there's something severe coming in. An example that you saw last night or early this morning was a tsunami warning. If we had something that would impact Thurston County, we could utilize the Rave system for notification to citizens out there. The Scatter Creek fire this past summer, we would be able to use it to notify citizens and for an event of a wildland fire.
And on the Rave system, are you able to do isolated geographic locations, or is it always countywide and specific to the event?
We can specifically target geographic locations within the county, and then we can also do it countywide.
Sure. So, for example, if there's a oil truck spill on I-5 right at the border of Lewiston-Thurston border, be able to alert those neighborhoods and residents and possibly passengers en route and what have you.
Correct. We can do that, and we can also, in case of a drain derailment, we can do it as well.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, that's a good one, yeah. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the purchase of the alert notification system?
I would move to approve a resolution allowing for the purchase of Rave Alert through Lime Computers for a total cost of $35,053.10. The first year and $31,950 in subsequent years through the United States General Services Administration Department, and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement contract to purchase the system and any forthcoming changes that do not amend the funding or duration of the agreement or contract.
Second, it's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so your motion carries.
Thank you.
So you have another item, and it refers to the medic unit gurneys. Is that correct?
That's correct. Sure. So I'm requesting the board approve a resolution aligned for the purchase of 8 Power Pro ambulance cots for $294,069.68 through the General Services Administration. The current cots that are used in the medic units are not supported by the vendor anymore because of their age, and it's difficult to find spare parts. 5 cots were purchased in December for the 5 medic units that were delivered at the end of 2017 to install in there. Now these remaining 8 will go to the 2 new medic units coming in and the 6 reserve medic units, so we have standardization amongst the medic unit fleet. And the price is the same as what we got the cots for back in December.
All right, so it's updating equipment here. Any questions or comments?
Could you give us just a little brief on the board that made this suggestion and recommendation of this expenditure, the EMS board?
Yes,
membership possibly.
The membership of the EMS board is consisting of local elected officials. It's consisting of fire chiefs, fire commissioners, and they made a recommendation unanimously to recommend acquiring these cots.
And this money is coming from?
This money is coming from the Medic One Fund, but it's already previously budgeted, so it's part of the 2018 budget.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Is there a motion to approve?
I would move to approve a resolution allowing for the purchase of 8 Power Pro ambulance cots from the Medic One Fund for a total cost of $294,069.68 through the United States General Services Administration Department, and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement contract to purchase the gurneys and any forthcoming changes that do not amend the funding or duration of the agreement or contract.
Second. It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So next one we have is the Public Works. We have Mr. Craig Sissons. How you doing, sir? He's the senior right-of-way agent, and he's going to give us a little bit on the road vacation as requested by Port Blakely Tree Farms.
Thank you, Commissioners. On December 12, 2017, the hearing examiner conducted a public hearing on the vacation of Dempsey Road right-of-way located easterly of Delphi Road, southwest in Olympia. This right-of-way was dedicated to the county by deed recorded at Auditor File Number 38473 on November 11, 1907. This right-of-way does not connect with the current county road system. The vacation is being requested to accomplish boundary line adjustments that will allow petitioner to sell the reconfigured parcels to the Department of Fish and Wildlife to become part of the Black River unit of the Billy Frank Jr. Nisqually National Wildlife Refuge. This will benefit Thurston County through preservation of our natural areas. The hearing examiner concurs that the vacation request satisfy all applicable criteria, and hearing no testimony in opposition to the application, recommends that the Board of County Commissioners approve the requested vacation subject to payment of compensation or waiving of compensation due to environmental conditions that may exist. Public Works contends that while the parcels to be conveyed from Port Blakely Tree Farms to the Department of Fish and Wildlife contain various environmental conditions, the Thurston County Geodata site does not disclose environmental factors along the majority of the subject right-of-way. Therefore, any conditions that do exist will be considered in the appraisal, which will establish the compensation. This road vacation is consistent with the county's strategic plan and meets the external goal of environmental and sustainable resources, preserve and enhance our physical environment and natural resources.
Any questions or comments? No?
I guess that just means we're about to do this, and once we do it, it's a done deal. Any further comment from Mr. Wall by any chance?
Thank you, Commissioners. I mean, no further comment other than that we're talking about a small amount of area. If there was the opportunity to waive compensation to the county, I would appreciate it. But we're happy to go through and do the appraisal process if necessary. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
No.
Nope. Is there a motion?
I would move to approve a resolution allowing a resolution adopting the recommendation of the hearing examiner to approve the request of Port Blakely Tree Farms for the county to vacate Dempsey Road right-of-way as petitioned, subject to payment of compensation as described in Thurston County Code 13.36.030.
Second. It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you,
Mr. Sissons. It's good to see you again. So the next item we have is also from Public Works. It's a resolution calling for seal bids, and Mr. Matt Ozelman is going to talk to us a little bit about it.
Good afternoon. Public Works is requesting permission from the Board of County Commissioners to call for sealed bids for a contract to relocate 25 feet of noise wall and install new curb ramps at the intersection of Yelm Highway and Claremore Lane. Relocating this wall will improve awareness for drivers leaving Claremore Lane and pedestrians using the sidewalks along Yelm Highway. This is a popular route for kids walking to and from area schools. This project was initiated by citizen concerns of several near pedestrian and bicycle collisions with drivers exiting from Claremore Lane. Public Works investigated the complaints and determined that relocating the wall to improve sight distance between drivers leaving Claremore Lane and pedestrians and bicyclists using the sidewalks along Yelm Highway was warranted. The estimated construction cost to do this project is between $100,000 and $150,000 and will come from the County Road Fund. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Matt?
No,
Is
we've
there
been
a
all
motion?
over this.
Yep. Okay. Okay, is there a motion?
I would move to approve the resolution and call for sealed bids and authorize the county engineer to set the bid date and time for receipt and opening of said bids for the construction of the Yelm Highway and Claremore intersection noise wall project. And that's CRP number 61192.
Second. So it's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it.
And Mr. Rick Thompson is on next. Authorization to issue a request for qualifications on all-call engineering professional services. Yeah?
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
You bet.
Public Works is requesting authorization to issue an RFQ for on-call engineering and professional consulting services in order to establish individual contracts with consulting firms for engineering and professional consulting services on an as-needed or on-call basis as budget allows. After issuance of the RFQ, Public Works will review qualifications, receive and return to the board to request authorization to enter into contracts with selected firms. On-call contracts will provide Public Works with engineering and professional consulting support for planning, design, construction, and other project-related public facilities. In the past, these on-call contracts have allowed the department to efficiently take on tasks that required skills and expertise not available in-house, improve timely responses to emergencies and other unplanned needs, and advanced work that would have otherwise been postponed due to limited resources. Although these on-call contracts will primarily support Public Works, other county departments with areas of oversight and public facilities may also use these contracts. Funding for work performed under the on-call contracts would come from various sources, including road funds, utility funds, solid waste funds, stormwater funds, and other departments depending upon the services provided. This request supports the Thurston County's strategic plan external goals of environmental and sustainable resources, preserve and enhance our physical environment and natural resources, economic vitality and opportunity, promote and advance sustainable economic vitality and opportunity for all of our citizens, and public safety and judicial services, help keep people safe in their homes and communities. The previous 2016 to 2017 engineering and professional services on-call contract gave Public Works the tools needed to accomplish important design and construction work. Here are a few of the projects and programs they supported. Fish Passage program funded by REIT, Marvin Road, Mullen Road concurrency intersection project, Stillicum Road safety project, bridge scour study, various landslide studies, Grand Mound Reservoir project, satellite water system management plan, and Public Works debris management plan. 6 contracts were awarded, resulting in 47 separate task orders totaling almost $2 million in 2016-2017.
Any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Is there a motion?
I would move to authorize the Public Works Department to issue a request for qualifications for on-call engineering and professional consulting services.
Second, it's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. The next department we have is the Community Planning and Economic Development Department, and we have Mr. Jeremy Davis, who's a senior planner, to amend the Thurston County impact fee schedule to add fees to Southeast Thurston Fire Authority.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Jeremy Davis, Community Planning and Economic Development. Today I'm here to request the County Commissioners amend the Thurston County impact fee schedule to add an impact fee for Southeast Thurston Fire Authority. This is to mitigate for impacts of new construction within their district. The county adopted amendments to the impact fee ordinance, Title 25, in September 2016, April 2017, and January 2018 to allow collection for impact fees for fire districts and fire authorities. The proposed amendment to the impact fee schedules was subject to a public hearing on December 5th, 2017, and will add a fee for 36 cents per square foot of impact fee for Southeast Thurston Fire Authority. This fee would only be applicable to new growth and development. It is not a new tax on existing development that's there now. The proposed start date for this would be March 1st, 2018, which will provide some ability to provide notice to affected parties and also allow the county to finish implementing the fee through its permitting system and to work with the cities of Rainier and Yelm to also implement the fee in their jurisdiction. Southeast Thurston Fire Authority operates in both rural Thurston County as well as the cities of Yelm and Rainier. It also does include several exceptions that the county worked with the fire authority on to include in their impact fee, and that would be for single-family homes with residential fire sprinklers, exempt agricultural structures up to 775 square feet would be exempt from the fee, structures not requiring building permits, bulkheads, retaining walls, and up to a 500 square foot expansion on existing buildings. The fee would apply to all new construction within their jurisdiction. So upon approval by the board, if you approve it today, we would then complete working on the interlocal agreement with Southeast Thurston Fire for the collection of the fee and implement it in our permitting system, as well as work with them to get the appropriate accounts of the Treasurer's Office. Upon implementing this fee, the department and the county would not collect any additional monies from folks to implement this. Those would be covered by existing permit fees for the processing. Are there any questions today?
Any other questions? Sure.
Could you explain to the listening audience how this came about that we're voting on this today? Just in general, who brought this forward, how it
Sure.
got to our...
The elected fire commissioners for Southeast Thurston Fire Authority have been considering this fee for some years now. They used to collect it in the city of Yelm, but they were advised that they need to collect it across their entire jurisdiction. In order to do that, they went through and worked with the consultant, Henderson & Young, which is the same consultant that did our impact fees, and did an impact fee rate study based on the projected building that was going to occur in their jurisdiction. They also went through and estimated what equipment needs they would need to serve that additional growth and development, and the additional equipment this would cover to serve the folks who live in that area now and future residents includes a pumper truck, a ladder truck, an aid car, a tender, as well as partially paying for a station. The fee actually would only cover up to 95% of those costs.
Okay. All right. With that in mind, is there a motion?
I would move to approve a resolution amending the Thurston County impact fee schedule to add an impact fee for Southeast Thurston Fire Authority.
Second, it's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries there, Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you, sir.
And then you have another one, the contract for Regional Planning Council in the Boundary Review Board, right?
Yes, sure. Jeremy Davis again. So staff from Community Planning Economic Development is also here to request the Board of County Commissioners approve a contract with Thurston Regional Planning Council to provide chief clerk services for the Washington State Boundary Review Board for Thurston County. Those services are currently provided by long-range planning staff. The contract current allotment would be $7,500 with the additional measure to allow the Community Planning and Economic Development Director to add $2,000 to that amount over the course of the year without coming back to the board. The current budgeted amount for the Boundary Review Board in the county's 2018 budget is $11,106. Moving this contract, these services over to TRPC or Thurston Regional Planning Council will free up staff time in long-range planning to work on other projects. And just so the folks out there know, the county is actually required to fund the activities of the Boundary Review Board if you have one.
Any questions of Jeremy?
I'm good to go.
You're good to go. Let's do it. Is there a motion to approve?
I would move to approve the Community Planning and Economic Development Director to execute a contract with Thurston Regional Planning Council to provide chief clerk services for the Washington State Boundary Review Board for Thurston County with an amount not to exceed $7,500, and further move to allow the director to approve amendments to the contract to allow for additional funds not to exceed $2,000.
Second. It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries as well.
Thank you
so much, Mr. Davis.
Have a great day.
You bet. You too. So now we're on number 7, which is commissioners and county managers items, and this is where the commissioners are can report on board sessions or work sessions, the committees, assigned committees and meetings, or just something they see in the public that they like to address right now. And so I'll ask my seatmate if he has anything he'd like to cover.
I think at this point, the only thing I really want to talk about is there's a group that is Thurston County Coalition Against Trafficking. And it has to do with young people. And if some of you might remember, a month ago, I think there were 17 local people arrested in a sting operation conducted jointly with Washington State Patrol and the Thurston County Sheriff's Office. And I would just encourage anyone that happens to have a concern to get involved in this organization. Protecting kids is what it's all about. And you've heard me say this before. Kids might only be 30% of our population, but they're 100% of our future. And I don't think we can go wrong by assisting groups like this in any way that we possibly can. I'll just let it go there.
Okay, great. Okay, so for my calendar, there's several different events I'd like to cover. So one of the boards that committees that I sit on is called the Law and Justice Council. And so the other day, 2 nights ago, we had the first meeting of this year, and it had a very interesting topic as far as opioid and opioid use here in Thurston County. And we had members from 3 different organizations. One was the Public Health and Social Services Director of Shelley Slaughter, talk about opioid use and the health impacts to the community and to the individuals. And then Mr. Kirk Harding and his crew came up and talked about how the medic services throughout the county have particular narcotics that can reverse some of the opioids in certain cases, and in certain cases it cannot. We had a small discussion on that. And then the third person was Mr. Mark Freeman from the Thurston Mesa Behavioral Health Organization, just giving the framework of how things are funded and the structure within the community in terms of helping those providers and family members as such. So very interesting. The opioid problem is prevalent throughout the nation as a whole. As you know, that opioids can be extremely addictive. And then when they're taken off opioid, let's say if you go to the dentist and you no longer have the pills to relieve the pain, most turn to some sort of other drug such as heroin or some other narcotic and become addicted, and eventually has a very dreadful impact to life or death of life. So it's just very concerning, and we're working on it, let you know, and there's more to come on that. A couple other things is my seatmate John Hutchins and I attended the Martin Luther King celebration here on 14 January over at the South Puget Sound Community College. Wonderful events for celebrating the life and memory of Dr. Luther King and some of the civil rights movements that issues that he brought that we still celebrate today and recognize. So if you've never gone to that, it's absolutely a great opportunity to revisit just what that's all about and how we can be all civil with each other in terms of race and gender and what have you. So it's a great opportunity to do that. I attended yesterday I attended and gave out the award to the Homeless Housing Award, and to 2 recipients, and one of them is Mrs. Catherine Trahan, and the other one is Teal Russell. Absolutely marvelous, marvelous individuals. They've been downtown ambassadors for Olympia for nearly 3 years, and their role in terms of being ambassadors is super critical, and it seems like easy job, but it's absolutely incredibly difficult because of the way the homeless population is interacting with the business community, the social community, and just in general, all trying to steer them and gear them in the right direction as far as getting services or housing. And so these 2 recipients, outstanding work for their service. They didn't have to do it. It's all volunteer. It's out of their personal time. But we just like to take time out to recognize them. And this is our 6th annual time of doing that as far as presenting these awards. And the Community Recovery Center is involved. The City of Lacey is involved. And there's a sub-unit called the Homeless Housing Action Hub, which is a sub-element of the Housing Action Team. All 3 of them put that together to include the Salvation Army, and it was really a good turnout, and it's a blessing to have these 2 people receive that award. And finally, my 2 seatmates and I sat around we went to the TCTV TV station, and we did a recording for about an hour, just to kind of fireside chat. I guess that's one way to say it. There was no fire there, or no side or anything. We just sit in the couch and kind of talk about things that come up that's pertinent to the county, both in terms of economics, environment, and the people. So I think it's about to publish, so I'd ask you to go look on the TCTV website and take a look at it and provide any comments or feedback. It was a fun time. We keep it fun and keep it straight and focused, and it's a good turn. It's a good thing.
Stand by for that exciting release.
Yeah, it was at the opening debut. What do you call that when they have a new show? Anyway, I'll turn to the county manager and ask him if he has anything he'd like to say.
Thank you, Commissioners. Before I walk you through the upcoming calendar, just like to, for the public, that I will follow up on the comments that you received from Mr. Pettit today and also from Mr. Ballard. But I do like to make a clarification on the comment that Mr. Ballard made. The Thurston County does not have current legislation designated the county as a sanctuary county. Thurston County is not a sanctuary county. I just want to make sure the public hears that on the same session as you heard the comment. Walking you through the calendar, the appointments that are going to be mentioned to you is where at least 2 commissioners will be present. You may have individual appointments in your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. Starting tomorrow, Wednesday, January 24th, at 9 in the morning, you have a TST Advisory Committee membership appointments briefing. 9:30, you will have a briefing on the interim process, review process related to the Pocket Gopher for the 2018 season. At 10 in the morning, you will have a briefing on the Title 26 proposed amendments. At 2 in the afternoon tomorrow, January 24th, you will hear a briefing on the proposed case management system where the representatives from the Prosecutor Attorney's Office, the Office of Public Defense, and the pretrial services will give you a perspective as to what application they would like to purchase. At 2:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, you will have an omnibus treatment of mental and substance abuse, and your Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Elizabeth Petris will give you a perspective related to the TST funding. At 3 in the afternoon, you will have a briefing on the Development Code docket, the 20-day written review, and the staff will give you a perspective as to what they have heard on the 20-day comment period. Thursday, January 25th, you have a planning session that starts at 12 at noon, goes until 5 in the afternoon, and we will be publishing an agenda for that planning session, and that will be held at the Public Works campus located at the 9605 Tully Road South on the Rainier Room in Building C. Friday, January 26th, 8 in the morning, you will have breakfast in Mason County Sheriff's Office. At 12 noon, you will have the Ready Nation Luncheon. Moving on to next week, Monday, January the 29th, At 12 noon, you have luncheon with the tribal council of the Squaxin tribe, where you have the opportunity to meet and greet the Squaxin tribal leadership. At 2:30 in the afternoon, you have a briefing on the, not a briefing, it is a meeting. And this is the third meeting that we'll have with all the different stakeholders related to the proposed IT department reorganization. At 5 in the afternoon, from 8 to 5, you will have the Emergency Management Executive Seminar. There's going to be located at the Thurston County Emergency Services Building, located at 9821 Tilly Road Southeast. Tuesday, January the 30th, as a reminder, again, there will not be a Board of County Commissioners meeting, but we will have a 9 in the morning agenda setting. We will be reviewing the agenda for the upcoming week. In at 2 in the afternoon, in lieu of the board meeting, you will have a planning session that starts at 2 in the afternoon. It will go to 5 in the morning. Wednesday, January 31st, at 9:30, you will have a Board of Health septic permits briefing. They will walk you through as to what the process involving on the securing a permit for a septic system. 11 in the morning on Wednesday, January 31st, you will have the Big Brother, Big Sister, Big Lunch located at the Hotel RL here just next door of the courthouse. Thursday, February 1st, 9 in the morning, you will have a briefing on the Shellfish Protection Fund for the 2018 work program approval. At 9:30, you will have a briefing on the sign code update. At 10, you'll have a commissioner's check-in. An agenda will be prepared for that meeting and will be published 24 hours in advance. 2 in the afternoon, February the 1st, you will have a meeting with the Thurston County School Superintendents, and that will be an standing meeting that we'll have every quarter with the school superintendents. At 3 in the afternoon, February the 1st, you will have a briefing on the TST, the Treatment Sales Tax Priorities, and the 2018-2019 community grants. Moving to Friday, February the 2nd, you will have a luncheon, and this time is with the Shahel Strive Council. And again, it will be an opportunity to meet and greet the tribal leadership. And that's all I have for you today.
All righty. I just want to circle back around and see if there's any comments or questions of anybody.
I guess being the county manager took the opportunity to clarify statements that have been made here. I'd just like the public to know that this 3-minute time period that we allow the public to comment is basically, it's uninterrupted free speech to put your issue out in front of the public, in front of the board, and it's not a time for debate. So oftentimes the information that you might hear at the mic during that period of time is not necessarily factual, but it's not a time for us to debate constituents that might have concerns. So we just allow that free speech to take place, and then we may or may not act on those particular issues.
Yep, very well stated. Absolutely. Yep. Anything else? No? All right. With that in mind, is there a motion to adjourn?
I would move to adjourn the Board of County Commissioners meeting January 23rd, 2018.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so we are adjourned.